So again, sorry, if my page has the CSS applied to it of just basic gray here, I can look at it and see I made it a little bit lighter because it's too dark. It was too dark. So I can continue now. I know that my style sheet, if for some reason my style sheet isn't connected, I've got to look here, make sure that I have the name proper, that it lines up with over here. So I can see my files here very nicely and everything links together. So if I want to quickly add, let's say I want to just define my nav, I'm going to go in, put in my brackets. I can just copy this, or one of the things that I want you to see is I hit B, A, and this brings in my background, and I have background color. There's background image if I wanted to use. Then I'm going to use I can also use a hexadecimal chart, which I use a lot. I want to use a hexadecimal chart to kind of lock in some colors, just to kind of give me a range of colors to work with. And I like hexadecimal values. You can get a couple different shades of of a color, red, green, or whatever. I'm going to use some of these greens over here. So 339900. So I'll just use my navigation as hashtag 339900, and I'm going to end that. Let's move that over. So if I hit save, I go back. There's my green. So I can see that's my navigation. And let's say I wanted to do the footer here, go to my main. So this is how I can simply add some basic style. Oops. Now make sure you don't do that, put it in an extra bracket like I just did. So I could take this, control copy, control paste. Now let me show you something else. So let's say you've got you're not too good with formatting your pages. Let me just change that color really fast. So I'm going to give it a different green. I had 3399, 339900, and so I'll just give it kind of a simple 99966 number. It's kind of a 99. Well, I'll use CC66. It'll give it kind of an olive color. Save. And one of the things that you can do is you can go to source and say format, and it will nicely line up your page. So for instance here, say I had my stuff all kind of messed up and it wasn't very well lined up. I can go on my page, go to source and format, and it'll line things back up for me the proper way. So that gives me a really nice way to nest everything, and everything's lined up, and I can clearly see where things are. I'm going to save my scenes, go back, and now I can see my divisions here. What's nice is you can change things like your footer margin. I could say margin. I want to make sure I have this. Notice if it doesn't, I want to say margin top, and I might go -10 pixels, and see if I can move my margin closer to my here. So I'm taking up that gap. So you can begin to move things around a little bit. Maybe I need another 8 pixels. Control save, go back, and I can move that up, and I can shift things real easily. Maybe I'll go 16, give myself a little bit of a gap there, maybe if I have one, maybe -14, save it, and I can start to see there's that gap in between. So I can move things around, and I can add my style. Alright, so that's really nice. So I'm going to close these out. So let's say you already had a project. Let's say project 5 was something you already had in a folder. Let's say you had it on your hard drive or something, and you had all your documents. Control copy. I'm going to copy all of those, and I can drop them. I'm going to paste those into my actual folder there in my Aptana Studio area. So here's my project 5. If I take these and end up dropping them, as long as I don't have any naming problems, I can paste all those in. Notice that they're all loaded in over here. Then I could go over and I can choose then my web careers page. Here's this. I have my images and everything in it. When I go here, and here's my web page, all laid out and really nice. So this is something that you can do. You can look at your web. I can load up my main CSS for this. So style 5. So here's my style 5. Here's all my content and everything that I need. And I can quickly see what I've got. It's interactive. You can see how things are working here. I can see my hovers, and I can see that everything is working really well. And so with that, that's kind of a basic overview of how to use Aptana. Of course, you can start with just a plain old, ordinary, empty page if you want to start from scratch. So here I'm in my Project 5 folder. Right-click and say New from Template and go down to my HTML. And I can just say a blank file. And I can call this my new, I can call it whatever. This is going to be my gallery. And I can say, make sure I select the folder and say finish. And then I have a basic blank page, which then I can begin to, enter in all that data. But, that you can save a lot of steps by creating yourself a new HTML page, an HTML5 page like I did just a few minutes ago. Again, I'll go, so if I choose this, I go right click, say new, new from template, HTML, and then HTML5 template. Click that, I'm going to choose the folder, and this will be my gallery. And I can say, of course, I need to select my folder, make sure it knows what it's doing. And let's see. It's froze on me for some reason. Let's go back. Going into here. I must have a name that's already I must not like that, so call it something else. Say let's see, my tables. And I can say finish, and then I've got my setup already. Here we go, and I can put all this stuff. I can rearrange all these things, rename those things that I need to, set up my CSS sheet again, and go on. So I hope this kind of gives you an overview of how to work with this. It's certain things that you're going to want to use, and you can also go over here to your snippets panel and look at some of these things too. And there's lots of different commands down here that you could work with as well. Something for HTML, something for CSS here. 97 different things for CSS, so you can add things in that way too. So there's a lot of things you can do. Anyway, I like it. What I've done with it has been great, and it's been very helpful, and I love the fact that I can see what I'm doing. And so if you choose Aptana Studio 3 over Dreamweaver, that's totally fine. If you don't want to use Dreamweaver, that's fine. Basically, you just got to write code, and it's got to have the basic things that we want for accessibility. You need to have your titles, you need to have your alternate text. All of this stuff that we've been doing, you can do just by entering it in. But what some of these softwares do is give you a little bit of, kind of a faster start in a lot of ways. And of course, there's the visual element there as well. So I hope that helps you, and good luck with it. It's a lot of fun. Always make sure you're working with HTML5 and you're adding the shiv and you're adding your links, and you can even add little favicons if you want as well. So those things are a lot of fun, and that's just a little icon up in the, so for instance on a web page, that puts a little icon up in the upper right hand corners of it, and it's just a small image that you can insert by using this here, link, and a shortcut, and have it referencing to a picture that you have in your file. Alright, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. And there's a lot of stuff online for this as well.